Hello there, my name is Levi Omagbemi. Welcome to my channel. So it's been a while since I uploaded a video on this channel. So in this video, I just want to talk to you about one thing you need to know for coding to make sense. I've seen some developers learning how to code and they know how to write the syntax of a language, they know how to declare functions, create conditionals, do variables, just do basically everything you need to know about a programming language. But yet, the essence of learning how to code is actually to solve problems, to build stuff. But they don't know how to convert that knowledge to build an app that is actually functioning. So if you say build this app, they don't know how to do that, how to turn that if statement, that function, that variable declaration into an app. They don't know that, and that's what I want to share with you in this video. All right, so let's say we are going to build an app, and this app is going to be a web app. And then what we want this app to do is that when a user visits the app, there's going to be a button, and when the user clicks that button, the app is going to say hello to that user. Now that functionality where the app actually says hello to the user is called the user requirement. So user requirement. So user requirement is anything you want the app to do. So what the app does, what the app does is called the user requirement. Now that you know what the app needs to do, you also need to know how to achieve that thing you want the app to do. So, how you achieve what the app does is called the technical requirement. So, there are going to be some tools, some programming language, and uh, some modules, some so many things you may need to integrate to make sure the app does what you want it to do. So that's the technical requirement. Technical requirement. And basically how you achieve the user requirement. My handwriting is so terrible. So user requirement is what the app does, and technical requirement is how you achieve the user requirement. Now I know this example is so simple, just saying that we want to build an app that says hello to a user when the button is clicked. It's so simple, but you can actually apply this to anything you want to build, no matter how large the app you want to build. I know in software development life cycle, you need to go through a lot of steps like um, defining the problem and gathering data about the problem you want to solve, designing the architecture and layout of the app, then going to development process, the test, and do all that. There are a lot of process to go. But let's just simplify this because my idea is to try to show you how to think. I'm actually showing you how to think and convert your ideas into code. That's what you need to know to become a developer. That's what you need to know for coding to start making sense. So for this our project, our technical requirement would be, let's say, JavaScript. So let's say JavaScript, and we're picking JavaScript because um, this is a web app, right? JavaScript, we also need HTML to get the button right. To create a button, you need HTML, and then probably we are also going to need CSS because there's no way you have HTML and you're not going to have CSS. So these are the technical requirements for a web app. And let's say for the web app to work, we are going to need events. So we're going to need a JavaScript event, and the job of the event is to listen for a click in the app, and when it happens we are going to say hello. So how are we going to say hello to the app? So let's say from what we have learned in JavaScript, we know about the window alert, and we're going to use this alert to say hello. So let's say this is our technical requirement. So now I'm going to open Visual Studio Code, and we're just going to demonstrate this. All right, so I just created a folder, and I call this folder Hello App. So remember, for our technical requirements, we need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we're also going to need an event listener for our button in JavaScript, and then we also need the Windows alert to display hello to the user. So that's our technical requirement. So I'm going to create the first one. I'm just going to say index.html. So index.html for our HTML file. I'm not going to create a CSS file because I'm going to write inline CSS. Just put my CSS within my HTML. And then I'm going to create a JavaScript file. So let's just say hello.js. Let's call this hello.js. So um, I'm going to create my HTML boilerplate. So I'm using HTML to do this, but this might be a mobile app or a desktop app or whatever you want to build, but the applying the principles remain the same. You need to know what you want the app to do, and then how you are going to achieve that. And sometimes you might not know how to achieve that. Maybe you can search, how do I do this, how do I do that, and that's what most developer does. So I'm going to have a button here, and I'm just going to have a style, and let's just say padding 1 rem. Let's just do just padding 1 rem, and let's say we want the uh, border radius. The border radius is going to be, let's do 1 rem also, and let's just say for the text content greeting. Then we want to link our JavaScript, of course, app dot no hello.js. So I'm going to save this and preview with live server. So this is our button greeting. Remember, we want an app, a web app that has a button, and when a user clicks on that app, we are going to get hello. So one of our technical requirements is JavaScript, because um, to actually add interaction to a web app, you need JavaScript. So let's go ahead and do that. And one of our technical requirements is also to add an event. And to add event to a button, there are several things you need to do. You need to get that button first. So let's go ahead and give this button a class. So think of it, say, so I need to click on this button. When I click on this button, something needs to happen. But you also know that if you have learned JavaScript, to actually select an element from the DOM, you need to add a class and ID to grab the element. So let's use a class to grab this element. Let's just say class, and let's call this greet, and save this. So I'm going to just say btn, and let's use, so how do we grab an element from the DOM? There are several ways we can do this. We can use query selector, we can use get element by class name, get element by ID if we are grabbing it with the ID. But we're just going to use query selector to document dot query selector, and we are going to put the class name, which is greet. Now, a lot of developers know all this syntax, but they don't know how to use it. So I'm just trying to break this down. You click a button, but first to click a button, you need to select the button from the DOM. Now, after selecting that button from the DOM, you know we need to add an event to it. An event is actually listening for something to happen. So you wait for stuff to happen in the app, and there's some event that when that thing happens, if something else is going to happen, that's what event is. Let's just say btn dot add event listener. And the event listener we want to add to this button is click. There's so many event listener, but the one we need is click. So we need a click event. And you know, with a click event, you can do anything. You can decide to just say console.log hello. So if I save this, make sure I save my HTML and just open my console. If I click this button, get hello. So if you can actually click this button and get hello, you can actually display this hello. So from our technical requirements, you can do that using the Windows alert, right? So you can just say alert, and the message you want is hello. So if I save and go back to my browser, and this time when I click, see we get hello. But what if we want to get the name of the user? So let's say we want to get the name of the user and you don't know how to do that. You can simply say how to get input in JavaScript, or how to get user input. So let's just say get user input in JavaScript. So these are some articles, these are some documentation on how to do that. And the one I like is using this prompt. I just want to use this prompt because it's actually quick. So let's go back and go to Visual Studio Code, and we need to do prompt. So at the beginning of our app, let's say um, let's declare a variable and let's call this variable username. And I'm going to say prompt, and let's say what is your name. So we're actually asking a question, what is your name? And whatever the user provide is going to be stored in this variable. And let's say instead of just saying alert hello, let's say hello. So I'm just going to concatenate this plus username. So you say what's your name, and my name is Levi. So I just say Levi and click OK. And if I click this button, you get hello Levi. So this is how you think. You think of what you want to do, think of how to achieve it, and break it into smaller steps. That's how you create larger apps. I know there are a lot of process to follow in creating larger apps, but this is how you can convert your ideas into code. And just knowing that one thing makes coding make sense to you, because without knowing that thing, coding does not make sense. Because I've seen a lot of developers, like I said before, they know how to do all these things. If you tell them create a function, they can go ahead and write a function. Let's say get username. So you need to add function, right? So this is how to write function in JavaScript, right? One way. And they can also create if statement, if username. This has to be in parentheses. You can create if statement So some developers can cram and memorize all the syntax of a language and yet do not know how to use it. But the way you turn your ideas into code is thinking of that idea, thinking of what you want to do and how to achieve that, the technical things you can do. So in this instance, we are creating an app with a button, and when we click on that button, we want the user to say hello. So I hope this video helps. I hope after this video you get the point. You just know how to convert your ideas into code. That's what I want to achieve just by doing this video. Thanks for watching. See you some other time.